Here is the recording of the reading I did with you and your spirit guides and any family or loved ones that wanted to come through. So, I'm going to explain a little bit about what can happen during a mediumship reading. Um, So, as I've said in another video, I recently learned that it's better to do the mediumship part of the reading first, um, because you have to have yourself at such a high vibration, um, to tap into that dimension or that level. Um, so it's recommended that you do that first. And then if you're doing other psychic work, that you do that after because that's a little bit lower level. So I've started doing that. And so I did the mediumship part first. And I just want to explain something else that I've learned recently is that um, the images that I see or hear or have a knowing of, like with my clairvoyance, clairaudience, claircognizance, um, they can be memories brought to my mind, from my life that could have something to do with the message that the spirit person is trying to get across. So what I'm understanding is that a lot of things that come through are mostly symbolic, but they can also be literal. So when I read off these things, think about it in both ways. Think about it if it could be literal or if it could be symbolic. And it could also be something that is going to happen in the future or um I'm trying to think what else. It could be things that maybe something that you experienced recently and the spirit person is trying to show you that they were with you when you experienced that or saw that thing. So just keep those things in mind when I read these off. Um, And I'm working towards getting to where I can have the client live with me. I'm just still working on that comfortability. So, so anyway, I'll go ahead and tell you what I got with the mediumship part. So right away when I tapped into whatever spirits were coming through for you, I saw like a hand held out and I felt like it could be a memory of you with your dad when he was his health was failing and he was dying. So I feel like I was having this feeling that it was like a memory of you holding his hand. So maybe when he was, if you were with him when he was passing away, that was kind of the feeling that I had. Um, I heard the name Robert, so I don't know what your dad's name was. Um, and that's something else I want to say is that because I'm still practicing and still learning this mediumship, I'm still kind of having a hard time uh, delineating exactly the relationship of the spirits that are coming through. And sometimes multiple spirits come through, and I might be bouncing back and forth between evidence for them. So I'm still working on that. So let me know if the name Robert means anything to you. I was asking questions like, how old was he when he passed your father? Because I wanted to connect to your father. I set the intention for that because I know you wanted to know, like, what's he helping with? What's he helping me with on this side of the veil? So I was asking questions like, how old was he when he died, and what was his cause of death? So I got age 74. So I mean, that's a number I heard. And then I was hearing heart failure. So you'll have to let me know if that is accurate. And then I saw a gate, kind of like at first glance, it reminded me of a farm gate, like at a farm, like a gate that would swing open and shut on a farm, connected to a fence. But then I thought it possibly could be a garden gate, so I'm not sure. And then I was seeing whales and that like monocular, like the single telescope, not binoculars, although there could have been binoculars. When I get these visions, they're so fast and I have to kind of figure out what did I just see. But I felt like it was one of those telescope single monoculars. Um, and it was reminding me of whale watching. And then I started to see like one of those old time sailors with like sailor hat and the telescope. And then that reminded me of the book Moby Dick and Captain Ahab. So I don't know if that means anything to you. So then I asked the question, like, I felt like if this is your dad, I'm going to ask this question because you wanted to know this. Um, like, how is he helping you from the other side? And so what I heard these words, I heard business, organization, details, and then later I kind of felt like um, a knowing that it had to do with scheduling, like a scheduling application. So maybe he's helping you with finding like just the right scheduling app to use for your business. And then I knew you wanted to know about what ray you should be working with right now. So right away, I got the color purple. And then my guides were correcting me and saying the violet ray. So I hope that makes sense to you. So I was hearing violet ray that you should be working with. Um, and then I saw that fence again in like a grassy field. So that could be maybe you have visited someplace recently where there's a grassy field and like a fence or a gate. Um, and then I saw like a tent with red and white stripes, kind of like a circus tent. It reminded me of a circus or a carnival. And very distinctly, I saw red and white stripes. So let me know if that means anything to you. And then about that time, I started feeling a headache really strongly, like on my left side in the back. And I'm trying to really pay attention to like clairsentience and anything that I might be feeling throughout the reading. However, I do get a lot of headaches there, so it wouldn't surprise me if it was nothing to do with the reading. It was just my body. Um, I asked some questions about personality. I kind of felt like maybe he was somewhat quiet, um, but that wasn't really clear. And then I started seeing a sunset. I started seeing either peonies or poppies. I felt like it was more like peonies, like those red papery flowers. Then I saw the color yellow, and then I saw a clown face. So then I was like, back to, are we back at the carnival or the circus? So I'm not sure what that was about. I then heard the word forgiveness and the words thank you. Um, so at that point, I had to take a break because I hadn't eaten and I was getting really hungry and it was becoming really distracting. So, oh, let me just check my battery. Yeah, I might need to plug in my battery. Let me pause real quick here. Okay. So, so like I was saying, I was getting really hungry and it was becoming really distracting. So I decided to take a break and come back. So then when I came back, I was really trying to, still connect with your dad. I was getting an image of an older man with gray hair and glasses. That could be any older man. But I was trying to get like his essence or like the type of man that he was. So what was coming across was a very studious type, like professional. So I was trying to figure out like what he did for a living, like what was his main profession. And I couldn't get very specific, but I felt like he was a businessman, possibly like an accountant or a lawyer or a professor, something like that. Um, and then I started seeing some different things like really odd, just out of the blue, candy canes. So I don't know what that would have to do with. But then I saw again a sunset, sailboats. I saw like a giant rock on a beach, like big enough that you could climb on it. Um, and then I saw like skipping stones across the water. So let me know if that means anything to you or if you have been anywhere like that recently with your son, or if that's something that your dad would have liked to do, or sounds like a place he would have liked to go, anything like that. So that was all I got for the mediumship part. Um, I also did Reiki on all of your chakras. I did get that you had some stuck energy around the sacral chakra, the solar plexus, the heart, the third eye, and the soul star. So I don't know that they necessarily were blocked, but I felt like there was some stuck energy. That's what I was picking up. So I worked on clearing that with Reiki and with crystals. And I will send you a picture of that. And I checked it with my pendulum and it was all clear. So so then I pulled 3 cards for you to get you messages to help you be on your highest path and messages that you may need to hear today. So the first card I pulled is called Bear Spirit. I don't have the best camera. I need to invest in a camera. Um, so when this card appears to you, um, usually there is some kind of healing happening on all levels. The key is to be open to it and ready to accept the healing. And this card is also a reminder that you are a healing force to others. And in the book, it talked about in native traditions, the bear represents the healer and good medicine. And he bestows healing powers to those who are worthy. And you are definitely worthy. So, because this card came up for you, that's what that is saying. Bear spirit energy also can represent grounding, strength, and confidence. And it activates a stable foundation to help you face whatever challenges appear in your life. So the spirit of the bear says, You're a healer and a channel for the life force of the universe. You are strong and grounded. Healing is unfolding, or a situation is being resolved. Have faith that all is well. Okay, so that's the first card. The second card is toadstools, and it's all about growth. So that's what that card looks like. So when this card comes up, it means that things have been brewing or incubating like under the surface, and they're about to burst forth, and at a rapid pace. So they're about to burst forth and grow, and very quickly. So get very clear about what your goals are, what your dreams are, because things can progress very quickly. This may also be a time when a new spiritual teacher comes into your life, or some kind of new path is opening up before you. The toadstool also reminds you that they have the ability to grow and survive no matter what life brings. And when you get this card, it's reminding you that you also have this ability as well. So the spirit of the toadstool says, beneath the surface of your life, miraculous changes are occurring. Something that you thought was ordinary is, in fact, remarkable. You are in a time of rapid spiritual and material growth. Get ready and hang on for the ride. Okay, so the last card that I pulled is called Moonlight Enchantment, and it's all about magic. And this is what it looks like. There's a wolf howling down there at the bottom. So when this card comes up, it reminds you that even when times are dark, that the light of the moon shows you the way and reminds you to trust what you feel. It also reminds you that you are safe and the magic of the universe surrounds you. So even if you can't see the path ahead of you, have faith and trust that you are being supported by unseen beings and they are supporting you for your highest good. So the spirit of moonlight enchantment says, believe in magic. You are being given powerful mystical messages from spirit. Take time to listen. Allow the luminescent receptive energy of the moon to activate your creativity. You receive mystical messages and you are a spiritual messenger for others. So I hope that these cards were encouraging for you and the messages were encouraging. And I'm anxious to hear back from you about the evidence that I got during the mediumship portion. Definitely let me know if any of that made sense, because that's the only way I'm going to get better at this is to keep practicing and saying what I'm getting, even if it doesn't make sense to me or it sounds silly or crazy. It could make a lot of sense to you. So I'm anxious to hear back from you, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.